look what we're doing today. Trout nails. That's right. And look, it's my favorite combo again, pink and green nails. Look at that. I just love rainbow trout. So I kind of accidentally started doing this because I was messing around with a couple polishes I had. And then I was like, hey, this looks like those trout nails that keep circulating. It seems like they've done several rounds. So this is just sort of my sort of quick version of it because we do some of the layers all in one. So it's not as tedious of a process like some other nails I do. And I'm going to do one that has the pink chrome and one that is just relying on the cat eyes to get the colors. So let's get started with it. Okay, and I just want to show you real quick. The one on the left does not have any chrome on it, and the one on the right has the pink chrome added to it. So those are the two versions we're gonna do. So how did I accidentally start doing a trout nail? Well, I was messing with these polishes that I have. I'll show them just a second here. They are like the sandstone ones, and I was like, oh, let's just mix them together. So I was doing half and half, like the silver half of the nail vertically and then the brown. And then I was just playing around with chrome over the top. And then as soon as I had that chrome on there, I was like, oh, wait, this kind of has a nice texture for like a sort of a trout nail thing. So that's what I originally was using. Those polishes, I think, are really difficult to find. So I came up with a different way to do the base coat because you don't really need it. So we're using the by Muse, like a beige brown color instead, and some flash top coat because that at least gives us a little bit of that texture that these two gels were giving me. And we put so much over the top of it. Like this was just my starting point, and I realized it didn't really matter in the end. Like these are cool. If you have them, use them because they just kind of have a nice natural speckly texture to them, but you don't need to. It's not like you're not going to be able to make the nail if you can't get these polishes because honestly, I've had those for a while. I don't know where you're going to get them. Okay, so for our base coat, we are using this by Muse syrup gel. It's number 24. They're calling it Dusty Gray. It's really just, kind of a tan, neutral tone. Just do a full coat of that and cure it. And now to get back some of the interest that I had in the original ones, the texture, I'm just going to go in with a flash glitter top coat. So anything you have like this will work. This is just the Nail Thoughts Flash Glitter Top Coat. Probably, maybe a fine silver glitter polish would work. Anything that's going to get you a little bit of interest like this. It's not overpowering. It's not, super dense with glitter. I'm just trying to get back some of that speckly stuff. And you know what? In the end, maybe it turns out you don't even need this. But I did it because I had those speckles in the original things I was messing with. So there you go. So cure that, and then we're on to the next step. Okay, and here is where you need to decide. Are you going to do pink chrome or not? Because I do the chrome underneath all of the cat eyes because I didn't want the chrome to overpower everything. So I'm going to use the Nail Thoughts Chrome It because I get super consistent results. And I'm going to use the Kokoist Peacock Liquid Chrome because I just like it. NailMartUSA also has a chrome called Mermaid Mist, a powder chrome, and it's the exact dupe for the liquid Peacock. So if you want a powdered chrome, you can also use that. It's the same color. And per usual, I will have links to these depending on where you're watching this, or all of the polishes will at least be listed in the description. So you know where to buy them. And I do have coupon codes for Sweeties and NailMartUSA. So you just use Sparkle 10 if you're buying from there. Okay, liquid chromes are finicky. What I like to do with these is I cut that label on the back so that I can see what's going on in there because the stuff settles very quickly in it. And if you do not seal these really well each time, it will evaporate. The solvents in there are super quick to evaporate, and so you can easily ruin a whole bottle of this and not realize it. So I like to see what's going on in there. So we have cured the Nail Thoughts Chrome It for 30 seconds, by the way. I forgot to mention that. And now we're just doing a generous coating of the liquid chrome, the Kokoist liquid chrome. And now you could just try to start, buffing this with your gloved finger. but it's still, to me, it stays a little speckly. And so I like to go in with a little like eyeshadow brush, and I just put a little bit of rubbing alcohol on it. I don't douse it with rubbing alcohol. And then I basically re-wet that fast drying chrome suspension, and it just sort of gets it more even over the nail. And then I buff it out. I've just found that that works the best for these Kokoist liquid chromes. There are other liquid chromes that are thicker and more like nail gloss kind of thing. Those are a different beast. This is just for the Kokoist liquid chromes. And it's okay if once you've buffed it, you're like, oh, it's still a little, speckly. It's not fully covered. You can do another coat, go back in, do the same process over again with the rubbing alcohol and everything, and then rebuff it out. So that's what I did on this one. It wasn't quite adhering how I wanted. And there you go. And if you're using a powdered chrome, you don't do the whole, rubbing alcohol on the eyeshadow brush thing. That is literally just for these Kokoist liquid chromes. It's just, I've found that is the best way to get the best outcomes on them. And I do love them. The orange and the Peacock especially are just amazing. And I feel like they stick a little better. And because of that, you get a little more of an intense effect with them than with a powdered chrome. No, nothing scientific about that. I feel like you do. Okay, now we've got our chrome on, and if you want, it would probably be smart to do a thin top coat over the top of it to seal the chrome in case you make a mistake on the next things we're doing. But I'm going to live on the wild side here, and I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to start layering my mag gels directly on top of the chrome, partially because I did do the liquid chrome, and it had some adhesive qualities, so it sticks a little better. Now I am going in with the Born Pretty Colored Water, the green from that set, and I just like it because it's a bright green and a transparent base. So anything like that will work, and even if it's not quite a transparent base, you know what I mean, something that's not going to overpower the green particles in your polish. So I'm only doing that on what would be the top. I'm doing it on the right side of the nail, and then I'm just magnetizing it so that that's sort of the upper back of the fish, giving us that green flash. And I like that. And so once you have it where you like it, you just flash cure it with your little flash cure lamp. And then we're just going to move on to doing the pink. And the pink is from the same Born Pretty Colored Water collection. And if you don't have this, just, again, a bright pink that is in a somewhat or fully transparent base as much as possible. And I'm just swiping this down the center of the nail. And I'm not even using my ombre brush to feather these out because, it's supposed to be representative of a fish in the end. So magnetize that how you like it. And sometimes the least amount of magnet work is what you need. Sometimes if you keep working it, it becomes too much like a line. Just so you know. Okay, now that those two mag gels are on there, we're going to fully cure that. And maybe I'll just speed show you doing those layers on the non-chrome nail because it might be easier to see it without that beautiful distracting pink chrome on there. And it's just the exact same process. And I'm trying to be better about not overworking the mag particles because I am finding, the more you work at it, the more it starts getting harder to get a nice just swath of it. And there we go. There's both versions of the nail. And I like both. So now you get to decide because I can't. All right, on to the final steps. This is where we're just doing it all in one go. Okay, this is the latest Morta and Nail 18 pan gel palette. I'm obsessed with these. I think I have almost all of them. They're only depending on the price, $12 to $16 for the whole thing. And I've been dying to use this black, speckly, clear stuff. And it has really good silver kind of flash glitters and stuff in there too. So we are using that. Now, J or however you say it, I have one on order that is also a black eggshell. I don't have it yet. So I'm using this palette to do it. The black in these are thicker gels, and it's a little chunky, but it works fine, and I kind of like it because it is like the splotches on the fish. And I don't know what the EJ gel is exactly going to look like. It might look more like chipped pieces, but you can see how thick that is. It just reminds me of like fish eggs or like tadpole kind of frog egg things. Anyway, you have to get this palette on Temu or maybe Shein or AliExpress. I got this on Temu, and you can see I had already been using this a lot from doing all these nails, and because these are thicker gels and I had super bright lights on, I am starting to get little chunks of the clear that were starting to cure. So you need to be mindful of these thicker gels sometimes and not just leave them open as you are working on things. Luckily, the whole thing didn't start curing like kickoff, but it was getting there. Now, as far as getting this palette, if you go on Temu, you just search local warehouse, and there is a large JE or IJE. I've looked up how to pronounce it, and now I've heard it a couple different ways, so I'm never quite sure. But, so it's already landed in the US, so you're not having to wait for, and customs and all of that stuff. It's not going to take weeks to get to you, just so you know. And as we were watching there, you can see how thick that clear gel is that the speckles are in. And so you just sort of swipe it on there, and sometimes you're not going to get a huge amount of them, and you can overdo it on the black speckles as well. Some of the first ones I was doing, I'm like, oh, I didn't really need that much on there. And you also, so I kind of like to swipe it so that I'm not going to have huge sort of brush mark dimensional things on the center of that nail, because it's just going to take more top coat to smooth it back out. And if you can see how some of those speckles are mushing together, you can manipulate those a little to get them where you want them. You can even get out a toothpick and kind of move them around. If in your attempt to smooth the gel out that it's in, you are then grouping the black speckles how you don't like them, just go in there and manipulate them where you want them. Okay, and we are not curing that yet at all. Now we're going to go into the gel just next to it, which is a really bright, sparkly silver kind of flash gel, and we are just doing the belly, like the silver belly of the fish. And again, just swiping it on there so we, are doing it relatively smooth. And it's you don't have to do it down the entire length of the nail. It's a fish. It can be kind of splotchy or just have a belly part in the center of it. We just want some of that silver belly flash on there. And that's what we have so far. We still have not cured those, although I guess you could if you wanted. Okay, our last step before we top coat. We are going in with Rosy Hips Hyper Collection number 42, the really nice olivey green for the back of the fish. I absolutely love this collection. Look at how bright these colors are. And I'm not even a huge big fan of flash glitter, but these also have a little bit of colored glitters in with them too. And I think maybe I don't like flash glitters as much on light nail colors because it tends to look more speckled then. But with these rich colors, oh my God, I'm in love with it. It's a newer collection. It is available at Sweetie's right now. But yes, so everything is still wet. The speckles and stuff. That's why I kind of wanted it smooth as well, because I'm just going to now go in on the back right edge here and put in that deeper green. And if you'd like, you can go in and just blend it out a little bit if you want. Just, see what it's doing and if you like it or not. Again, none of this has to be perfect, nice lines. This is a scribbly nail. See, I told you I'm a scribbly person. This is the type of nail that I like. It's a natural thing, that we're emulating here. So, you can blend it a little or not, and that's it. Now we are curing that layer, and then all that's left to do is top coat. And we all know one of my faves is the Zombie King High, but today I'm going to try the Jin.B Crazy Top Soft, because I was curious if this could, do a smooth top coat in a single layer. And surprisingly enough, even with this like kind of chunky monkey glitter speckles thing we've got going on, it did a really nice job of finishing off these nails in just one go. And there we are. There's our cute little Trouty trout nails. I love the pink and green combos. We've got the one on the left that doesn't have the chrome, and the one on the right has the pink chrome. And if you feel like sometimes chrome nails, when it's on all of your nails, gets to be overpowering, the version on the left with no chrome, I think works just as well. And I did try to look to see if there was an origin point for this nail, but it seems like a trend that just kind of makes the rounds every couple of years. Like, I was shocked at how many came up when I searched for it. But they're super cute. So this is just my little version of that.